My mom hated every girl I dated until I found old love letters she wrote to me when I was 12. I didn't think anything was wrong at first. My mom was always a little intense. Overprotective maybe? Controlling, sure. But she was a single mother raising me on her own after my dad disappeared when I was just a toddler. I used to think she's doing her best. And I believed that. For years. Even when she'd interrogate me after hanging out with friends, what girls were there? Were they dressed slutty? Did any of them try to touch you? I chalked it up to a mom who just wanted to keep me safe. I was 15 the first time I brought home a girl. Her name was Brooke. We met in algebra class, started texting during lunch breaks. She liked skateboarding and had this little scar on her chin from trying to do a rail grind at the park. She made me laugh. It was stupid and sweet and harmless. I was so excited for my mom to meet her. I thought maybe this would be the start of something normal. But from the moment Brooke stepped into our house, my mom's face changed. It was subtle at first. A too long pause before a handshake. A smile that didn't reach her eyes. By the end of the night, she was accidentally mentioning how messy my room was, how immature I could be, how boys don't think with their heads at that age. Brooke left early. She didn't text me the next day. Or the next. When I finally cornered her after class, she told me my mom had sent her a message on Facebook. Something about keeping your hands to yourself and not confusing hormones with love. I confronted my mom. She didn't even flinch. "She's not right for you," she said calmly, folding laundry like we were discussing the weather. "She just wants attention." I can see it in her eyes. I was too stunned to argue. I just let it go. It became a pattern. Every time I liked someone, she'd find a way to ruin it. Somehow, she'd always get their number or DM them or make them feel like I was the problem. She told one girl I had a porn addiction. Another, she claimed I was secretly gay and using her to pass. The craziest part? I started to believe her. That maybe I really wasn't good at relationships. Maybe I was too awkward, too distant. College was supposed to be my escape. I got into a university 2 hours away, close enough to visit, far enough to breathe. But she followed me. Not literally, but emotionally, digitally. She called every morning, texted every hour. If I didn't answer, I'd get guilt messages. "Hope you're safe. Not that you care how I feel. Guess I raised a stranger. Don't come crying to me when these girls break your heart." It wore me down. I didn't date much in college. I had flings, sure, but nothing lasted. I told myself I was focusing on school. But deep down, I knew I couldn't bring anyone into my world without her poisoning it. Then I met Ella. She was different. Smart. Grounded. She didn't put up with my bullshit, but she also didn't run from it. When I finally told her about my mom, she didn't laugh or judge. She just said, "That's not normal. You know that, right?" And I realized, no, I didn't know that. Because it was normal. For me, it had always been normal. Ella encouraged me to set boundaries. To limit contact. I tried. I stopped answering every call. Started replying to texts hours later instead of immediately. That's when things got weird. I started getting letters. Real ones. Unscented stationery. No return address, but the handwriting was familiar. Too familiar. The first few were generic, talking about how proud she was of me. How lonely it had been without me. Then they got strange. "You've always been such a beautiful boy. I still remember how you used to climb into my bed when you had nightmares. You were always so warm. So safe. I miss your hugs. No one hugs me like you. No one touches me like you did." I felt sick reading them. I asked Ella what she thought. She read them, her face going pale. "That's not from some random woman," she whispered. "That's from your mother." I didn't believe her at first. Until one night, Ella pulled out an old box I had kept in my closet. A childhood memory box. Inside were drawings, report cards, school photos, and letters. Old ones. Written to me. From my mom. At first, they seemed innocent. Until you read between the lines. "I don't need anyone but you. You're my little man. My protector. I don't care if you never get married. I'll always be your number one girl. And then the one that broke me. You'll always be mine. No woman will ever understand you the way I do. Don't let them take you from me." I couldn't breathe. Suddenly, every weird comment made sense. Every ruined relationship. Every time she joked about how girlfriends were just mothers with benefits. She hadn't been protecting me. She'd been claiming me. I cut contact, blocked her number, deleted her emails, sent the letters to my therapist, who immediately recommended trauma counseling. But she didn't stop. She started messaging Ella, then Ella's sister, then her boss, claiming I was the manipulator, that I was dangerous, that I needed help. It was harassment, but twisted, so calculated that it all looked like concern. Just trying to help my son before he hurts someone. I'm scared of what he might become. He was always too close to me. Too close. That phrase echoed in my head. Because she made me close. She made me hers. And now I was trying to claw my way out of her arms without losing everything. ChatGPT said, I moved. Not just apartments. Not just cities. I changed my name, transferred jobs, left behind everything that tethered me to that old life. Ella came with me. She told me once, your mother didn't just abuse you. She rewired you. But I'm willing to wait while you rewire yourself back. That meant more to me than I could explain. Because the truth was, I didn't even know who I was without my mother's voice in my ear. We settled in a quiet suburb outside Denver. Nothing fancy. Just clean air, good neighbors, a grocery store 5 minutes away. It was the most peace I'd ever known. For a while. But peace has a way of feeling like silence when you've been raised on chaos. Some nights I would bolt awake in a cold sweat, swearing I'd heard her voice outside the window. I'd check the locks, walk through the dark house, wait for my heart to slow down. Ella offered to get security cameras. I said no. Part of me still didn't believe she'd actually come. That she'd break the rules of space and time just to reach me. But she did. It was a Tuesday. I'd just gotten back from a morning jog. The air was sharp, thin. Ella was still asleep. I bent to grab the mail from the front steps. And there it was. An envelope. No stamp. No address. Just a sticky note. I saw you running. You still look good in gray. I nearly vomited on the spot. I tore it up. Buried the pieces in the garbage bin. Didn't tell Ella. I told myself just once. A slip-up. She probably found out through an old tax record or something. Then another letter came. This time, she included a photo of me and Ella eating lunch on our patio. From inside our fenced yard. No note. Just the photo. I couldn't lie anymore. I showed Ella. She went pale. I'm calling the police, she said. But what could I report? A letter? A photo? They filed a report. Took it seriously, sort of. Suggested I get a restraining order. I filed the paperwork that afternoon. 3 days later, we came home to find our doormat replaced. It didn't say welcome. It said, Mommy's home. We moved again. This time under aliases. It cost us thousands. Fake leasing names, P.O. boxes, burner phones. Ella handled it like a soldier. Like someone who knew trauma personally and wasn't afraid of a little more. But I was unraveling. Every corner store cashier started to look like someone she knew. Every woman with dark hair made my skin crawl. I couldn't shake the feeling that she was still out there. Watching. Plotting. I started therapy again. This time with a trauma specialist. He said, you're not just healing from her. You're mourning the childhood you thought you had. He was right. Because here's the thing, when your abuser is your parent, the grief is sticky. You don't just lose trust. You lose the entire idea of safety. Ella got pregnant the following spring. It wasn't planned. But when she told me, I felt this quiet click inside my chest. Like something that had been rusted over had finally turned. I'm scared, I told her. I am too, she said. But not of you. And that was all I needed. We didn't know if it would be a boy or girl. We decided not to find out. I just want them to feel safe, I told my therapist one day. He nodded. Then you already know what kind of father you won't be. The baby came 2 weeks early. A girl. We named her Lila. She had Ella's dimples and my nose, poor thing. But when she cried in the hospital room, her voice was all her own. For the first time, I held something that was truly mine. Not in a possessive way. In a protective way. I didn't think about my mother once that day. It wasn't until a week later, when we brought Lila home, that it started again. Ella was changing her diaper when she froze. Babe, she called out. Did you leave a gift at the door? I walked to the front porch. There was a box. Wrapped in blue and yellow paper. No name. No card. Inside, a baby blanket. The exact one I'd had as a child. Pale green, stitched with moons and stars. And underneath it? A cassette tape. Ella didn't want to play it. But I did. I had to know. I dug out an old player from the garage, popped in the tape, and hit play. Her voice. Softer than I remembered. Hushed. Measured. You'll understand someday. When you're older. When she leaves you. When your child doesn't look at you the way you looked at me. There was a pause. Then, you'll come back. You always do. I stopped the tape. Ella wanted to move again. I said no. I was tired of running. So I did something different. I wrote back. Typed, not handwritten. No emotion. Just facts. You are not my mother. You are my abuser. If you contact me or my family again, I will pursue every legal action available. You need help. But I'm not your son anymore. I'm a father now. I didn't send it. I printed it. Framed it. Hung it above my desk. A line in the sand. Lila turns 2 next month. She loves finger painting and dancing barefoot in the kitchen. Sometimes she asks why I cry during bedtime stories. I tell her Daddy's just happy, because it's true. And sometimes when I pick her up and hold her tight, I feel the ghost of that little boy inside me, the one who thought love meant guilt and surveillance and silence. I hold them both, and I say out loud to no one, "You're safe now." And this time I believe it. I started seeing her in strangers. Not actually her, but women who moved like her, tilted their heads the same way, smiled with that particular mix of sweetness and threat. The kind of smile you learn to read when you've spent a lifetime decoding emotional landmines. One time at the grocery store, a woman brushed past me and whispered, "Excuse me, darling," and I dropped the basket in my hand. Just from the tone. It was the same way my mother used to say it when she needed something: money, attention, obedience. My therapist said it was trauma echo, like phantom pain in a limb that was never yours to begin with. Lila was growing fast. Talking, running, screaming no with all the righteous fury a toddler could manage. Sometimes I caught myself flinching when she yelled. Not because she scared me, but because I heard her voice layered over it. My mother snapping at me for looking too long at a waitress. My mother calling me an ungrateful little bastard because I forgot to text her goodnight. But then I'd look down and see Lila. My daughter. My mirror. Not a weapon. Not a replacement. Just a kid. And slowly I'd come back to myself. Ella had been patient. Unbelievably so. But one night, after Lila had fallen asleep, she sat on the couch and looked at me with this quiet exhaustion I'd never seen in her before. "I love you," she said, "but I'm tired of sleeping beside someone who's always looking over their shoulder." I didn't answer right away. She pressed on. "You don't owe me an apology. But I need to know, do you even want to be free? Or do you just want to survive?" That hit me like a good punch, because I hadn't thought about the difference. I was surviving, going through the motions, smiling at the right times, holding my daughter,